My presentation will be about global energy. To start off, what is heat energy? Heat energy is caused by different objects such as heat engines, computers. It can also be caused by people and other things. Loss of energy from transferring energy, such as like peaker plants, heat engines, will create or harness energy, and some of this energy can actually be lost due to heat. Now, what the proposition is that it could be heat transferred into electricity, which will cause a higher efficiency from the peaker plants, from the heat engines, and it could also help computers while they're be heating up from their processors, graphic processors. They could transfer that heat into more electricity that will get renewed in the actual computer itself. To talk about the actual people, people could actually wear suits that have thermoelectrodes that can cause electricity for their devices. To speak more on the thermoelectrics is the focused solution for the heat loss and heat energy. It's the gadgets that will be used to capture the energy. Many thermoelectrodes have been created for testing cases. There have been many colleges such as MIT, Stanford, and Northwestern who have used thermoelectrics in their tests to see how well they will do in normal room temperatures, high temperatures. The main market will actually be lower room temperatures, anything underneath 100 Celsius. Rough silicone nanowires help to gather energy from room temperatures, which have been a little bit of a breakthrough in the technology. To go in, starting with the benefits, talking about the actual computers themselves. So this will be wearables, phones, laptops. Heat energy may cause greater times in between charges for devices so that each device can actually go for 2 days, 3 days instead of just one. Most websites have been saying that they would be doubling, which I think is a little bit high hopes for near future, but it could eventually get that high. It could also lead to smartwatches, like I said, doubling in the energy life between charges, which would be beneficial for people who like to wear their smartwatches at night to have sleep recordings to see their quality of sleep. They don't have to actually plug up their smartwatch every single night and lose that data. Computers could also last several days without charging. Like I said, many websites have quoted as saying this, which I think is a little bit high hopes to be seeing for the near future. Benefits with cars. EV cars are beginning to become mainstream with every passing month. On my last PowerPoint, I quoted as Tesla. Tesla is growing their car business every single month, um, which those types of cars, including the Chevy Bolt and the Nissan Leaf, could greatly use this technology if it were to become more efficient to have their cars last longer or use smaller batteries, which would decrease the cost per car. They create large amounts of heat, cars do, while discharging from their batteries, which could be turned into electricity for the car. When it comes to electrical companies, for me personally, my electric company is Chickasaw Electric. They personally could use the technology for their peaker plants to make them more efficient, which would lower their prices and raise their profit margins or reduce the cost for the end consumer, or a little bit of both. Lowering CO2 levels has become quite an issue um, in today's society, especially in places like China, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. See, as they rise, this can be contributed to cars mostly, but it could also be done from peaker plants. These peaker plants could become more efficient with the heat energy that they would be capable of capturing from either heat engines or the peaker plants. Um, they would be more efficient, so they would have to be ran for either shorter amount of times or less hard and less CO2 gas is being emitted. For the last slide, I'm going over the hurls across. As I kind of hinted at a few slides ago, efficiency of the thermoelectrics is very low. A lot of websites have been quoting the fact that they are super happy about 5%. 5%, while it is a increase from a few stages of this technology ago, is still not very high comparatively. The lower yield of the natural thermoelectric materials. So these are the materials that they have been using that have found to be very effective in capturing heat energy. There is a lack of them. And then there's also a high cost of the artificial thermoelectric materials that some colleges such as Northwestern have been trying to create and have been successful, but as I said, at a very high cost. And going for the future, thermoelectrics will more than likely greatly improve over time as technology does. Energy will need to become more abundant as energy needs rise, such as like cars, more electronics around the household, and this will cause a change in how energy is created and used. And this is my works cited page.